Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
And we're building a wall on the border of New Mexico. And we're building a wall in Colorado. We're building a beautiful wall, a big one that really works, that you can't get over, you can't get under. And we're building a wall in Texas. And we're not building a wall in Kansas, but they get the benefit of the walls that we just mentioned.
Yeah, and we're getting rid of New Mexico. I laughed about that yesterday. Posted that. I had people that are Trump supporters who attacked me. Some of them like, you just don't understand. He didn't say it, or it's a joke. He messed up. So what? Get over it. Laugh at yourself. He's like, I was kidding. No, you screwed up. But it's the reaction of the people who support him. Like, not, and I'm not talking people who I want Trump to do good. I've been disappointed in some of the actions of the president, but I do not want him to fail. And I find this time in our history disturbing on many levels with the way that we treat each other. But the Kool-Aid, you know who the Kool-Aid people are, right? You know who they are. We're going to have Trump Town. Trump Town. Oh, my. But it was just the reaction and getting people sending me direct messages and texting me and stuff, telling me what an idiot I am and how I'm not patriotic and I'm part of the propaganda. God, I don't know how many times I've been called propagandist. And I was like, I can't. You've drank the Kool-Aid. You have drank the Kool-Aid. You've drank it. But the other side does the same thing. This is Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett, not the football player. Senator, Colorado.
That in Colorado, if a president said he was going to use eminent domain to erect a barrier across the state of Colorado, across the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, he was going to steal the property of our farmers and ranchers to build his medieval wall, there wouldn't be an elected leader from our state that would support that idea.
Producer Phil's, he sound a little drunk, a little off.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. And here's another thing. I don't even know what you guys are talking about, but I'm not doing that for sure. So don't you bring that here. It was just funny. And again, the reaction of people, because that's what we are now. Last night, I had Andy Biggs on and talk with him late last night, and we were chatting, and he tweeted out that he's going to be on the show later and all this stuff. And so here's Congressman Andy Biggs. He was one of the Matt Gaetz's close friends, and yesterday they were there. Of course, they stormed the castle, and it caused all this uproar and craziness. And you know what social media allows you to do? It allows you to fight with people you've never met all the time about everything. Because I start getting included in retweets and tweets, and I'm getting, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 a minute, and they're fighting, and people are battling over stuff, and what about this, and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys have never met, you're nowhere near each other. One of you isn't even in the same state as Congressman Biggs. Another one of you isn't in the same, and all of a sudden you guys are fighting, you're yelling at each other. You have never met. A new study out that says 7 out of 10 people believe there's going to be a civil war. It's not going to be a civil war. First of all, can we just be honest? We're a little bit busy and we're a lot of bit lazy. Right? We can't overcome obesity and lethargy. You think we're going to pick up arms and rise up to fight each other? Twitter's allowed us not to have a civil war because we can get it all out in a way where we know we're not going to get punched in the face. Right? You ever watch when the Proud Boys would go and they would fight with Antifa and you'd watch it and you would just laugh your ass off because it was like a slap fight most of the time? Right? Come on. 7 out of 10 people believe that. I'm here to tell you. Jimmy Fallon, who's been on the show a few times, friend of the show, he writes for Kennedy on Fox, appears on her show. He said the only way we'll have a civil war is if there's an app. I think he's pretty much right. But that's the insanity of it. Everybody needs to slow their roll. The media loves this. Mark Halperin was talking about how the media loves long stories. They love long stories. They love, like the podcast that, when they go and the murder podcast, whatever those things is, they want to build in the story because story usually will get people to follow it somewhat. And that's what they've got going on now. They're building in the story. The Russia story was convoluted. It was too much. It was for wonks and weirdos and people who were just delve into. This is a little bit easier, right? And Trump makes it even easier by saying, they're bad, I'm good, deal with it. How do we stop them? And the other side says, nope, you're bad, we're good. And there are people like, yeah. And the exhausted majority, you, me, everybody else, we're like, oh, God, we're like busy. We are busy. That's what we are. We're busy. And this whole like, hey, these proceedings are behind closed doors and they're going to be out in the public eventually. They're talking about having public hearings in the next 3-4 weeks. It's going to happen. It is. And Judge Napolitano, who Trump now hates, right, because that's what happens. Bannon, by the way, Bannon's got a new podcast. It's called The War Room, and it's very interesting. But he's like, first of all, everybody out there that thinks, Nancy Pelosi's an idiot, and I've said this all along, she is shrewd. You don't survive like McConnell and a lot of these people without having your war wounds and your scars. Right? You ever watch any of those nature shows and you'll see the king of the mountain, right? Like the crocodile that's the badass crocodile or when they have the elephant seals. You know what they have? The ones who are sitting on the top and have been, the kings and queens of the harems and whatnot. You know what they have? They got all kinds of bite marks and stuff. And you know what they do? They survive. They do. She gets it. I've said it all along. She's awful. You may dislike her, but respect the things that she does because that's what doesn't happen. And when you underestimate people, you get your ass whooped. And she respects Trump. She gets it. She didn't want to be in this situation with this impeachment crap. Because she realizes, hey, once this thing is finally out there and we vote on it and it goes to Mitch McConnell, there's going to be things that he's going to be able to do because much like her, she's a wizard. He's a wizard. That's what they call him, the wizard of the Senate. He knows every loophole, every game, every little thing to do because he's been there so long. And he knows so many things. You know what he can do? He could kill it before there's ever a trial. He could vote to dismiss charges. He could drag it on for a long time, making sure that all the senators that should be campaigning, as far as they're concerned, for President of the United States have to be there. He could make it hell in a way that they don't understand. And by they, I mean the people out there who want Trump gone. There's a lot of things that can happen. But they're smart people. We may not like the way they do things. We may despise the other party or the other party despises us or this, that, and the other. But there should be much respect for the wily, cunning ways that they do things and the understanding in a much bigger way than people don't get. This past Monday night, the Patriots crushed the hapless Jets. Bill Belichick is arguably the greatest coach maybe in modern sports history, regardless of sport. They were up big. He took a delay of game, and then he told one of his players, do a false start. When you do that back-to-back, there's a loophole that means the clock starts to run rather than it be a dead ball. And the entire time he's laughing because he took advantage of something that basically one of the other coaches was like, I didn't even know that was a rule. They get it. They're smart. Theatrics, craziness, drawn out. Get ready for it. And we're not even talking about the election. We're not. People ask me all the time, do you think he's going to be impeached? I'm like, based on everything I've seen? Nah. I mean, he'll be impeached, but will he be removed? No. No. How long will it take? That's up to Mitch McConnell. And again, Mitch can make it hell. And by the way, don't think that they all hate this, because the amount of money that both sides are raising are massive. When she announced the inquiry, he raised more money in 48 hours than Biden raised in the third quarter. Think about that. That's insane. Yeah, the money's massive. Theatrics are massive. They hate it but enjoy it, and they understand it way better than a lot of people do out there. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at me. I love hearing from you. Speaking of understanding, yesterday, Mark Zuckerberg was on the Hill, and he and AOC, they kind of got into it, And I was watching Zuckerberg, and you ever had that look, though, where, like, you think to yourself, all right, you get politics, but you're not that smart, right? You're not, like, why are we talking? I felt like that yesterday.
So you won't take down lies, or you will take down lies? I think it's just a pretty simple yes or no.
In a democracy, okay, I believe that people should be able to see for themselves what politicians that they may or may not vote for
so
are
you
saying,
won't take them down.
Character.
And they kind of went around. But it was just funny looking at him because he had to answer the question. And she's just like, so I can lie about the GOP? And he's just like, do you not get it? I'm going to let the politicians say what they want to say. That's about it. Go ahead, lie. Like, they're all doing it. Do it. Right? And I think he's thinking to himself, my God, the amount of crap that I have to go through to kiss these people's asses so they can give me more regulations so I can exploit those regulations. Is it worth it? Maybe I'll just build my giant compound. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson shows your Twitter. Tweet at us. My Pillow. Yesterday I was talking to the lady that works with our show, and she goes out and she sells advertising and everything. And her and I were talking about the My Pillow. We're going over stuff and talking about it. She goes, I take my Go Anywhere pillow everywhere. She goes, in fact, I just went hiking and I took it with me. And I'm like, yeah, it is incredible. It is like otherworldly. I'm telling people this all the time. And the mattress top. Oh, you got a bed at home. How many of you listening right now? You didn't have a great night's sleep. You're thinking and you're looking and you're going on. You're doing all this stuff. I will tell you this. One of the big mattress companies sent me a mattress to try out, right? I won't say who it is, but think of Halloween and a ghost. And it was okay. It was. But I decided to go back to something a little stiffer, and I got a mattress topper from MyPillow. Changed everything. Huge savings right now. Massive, deep discounts. Go to mypillow.com. Check out the promo code, right? It says promo code. You type in Benson, BENSON. They got a 2-for-1 going on. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free, 60-day money-back guarantee, and 10-year warranty. Check it out for yourself. You will not go wrong. MyPillow.com, MyPillow.com. Promo code Benson, Chad Benson Show.
I can't take it anymore!
Well, get over it. It's time to forge a new path with your very own political cartographer, Chad.
If you want to stand out this Halloween, don't dress up as Ariana Grande. The singer is the most popular celebrity costume search over the past month, according to marketing research firm SEMrush. Beyoncé bows at number 2, followed by Cardi B. In 4th and 5th, we have sisters Kim Kardashian and Kylie Jenner, respectively. No guys in the top 10.
Good. I don't want to be. Here's a question. If, and I say it's an if, what if I went as Ariana Grande? Am I culturally and femininely appropriating somebody? I think it's a fair question, right? If I show up as Ariana Grande or Katy Perry or whatever, right? Because I think it's funny. Is that like, I feel in this day and age, I'm like, you almost have to have like, you should go to the Spirit store, the Halloween store, whatever store you have, and they should have on the back of it, this will offend, if you're this color, right, and you have to hold it up to your face, this will offend this group, 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 and this group. And you're like, oh, man, that sucks. So basically, what do you do? I don't know. It's going to be interesting, though, right? Like, what do you do? Because you know it's happening already. It's happening. Already seeing people saying, somebody sent me something about what you can and can't do based on certain things. And I thought it was a joke. No, they were serious. I'm like, oh, there's guidelines. Speaking of guidelines, Bed Bath & Beyond, stupid. Bed Bath & Beyond, stupid. Taking away the pumpkin. Well, people are offended by it. Oh, my God. When are people not offended? I still ask that question on a daily basis. Most of these people that are offended are usually offended for other people. And there are some people out there that are nothing but victims. Everything in life, if you get their order wrong, it's because you are oppressive. Doesn't matter. Not a mistake. You're oppressive. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
That's me. Apparently, we're moving tanks into Syria, different part of Syria, but we're coming home. Are we? I didn't feel like we're coming home. That's what I heard. It worked out beautiful for everybody, apparently. So we're coming home, but we're not leaving. Want everybody to understand that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Bernie was talking about Medicare for all. He broke it down in the absolute best way that Bernie's ever broken it down. Most of it is a bit of a broken record, right? And it all sounds great. Again, everything sounds great. Government's going to do everything for you. But this is the best that he's ever explained this.
We are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a human right. I believe that health care is a human right and not a privilege. Medicare right now is the most popular health insurance program in America. I want to expand Medicare to include dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses. And then what I want to do is lower the eligibility age first year from 65 down to 55, then to 45, then to 35, and then we cover everybody.
All right. So that's where he's going with it. Right? And you're sitting there going, okay, first of all, you need to say human. It's not human, it's human. So then he starts to break it down. And again, it all sounds like a wonderful thing.
When we do that, there are no more premiums. You're not paying any more premiums, no more co-payments, no more deductibles, no more out-of-pocket expenses. Virtually every person in this country will save money on health care because we are currently spending twice as much per person as the people of any other major country.
Oh, okay. Which is, look, those are real, right? Those are real. So you're not going to have any more of those out of pocket. But you're also captive to the government, right? And we never take in a lot of the other things that we're going to put all of the insurance people out of work, and some of them will come and work for the government, and that's going to cost a lot of money because they're going to go from making, $15 an hour processing paperwork as an analyst or administrator at these insurance companies to doing the same thing now for the government, and they're going to be unionized and they're going to make $60,000 a year. And you're like, oh, yeah, I never even thought of that. And they always point out, it's the most popular thing. It's like it's the most popular out of bad things that the government does. Does it work well for some? It does. Does it work bad? But I always go back to, I think it's going to be more VA than Medicare. But the other things we never take into account is, think about all the things that doctors go through, right? All the paperwork, all the things they have to do, the insurance, the whole 9 yards to CYA themselves. They don't have those anymore. But now if something goes wrong, do you get to sue the federal government if the doctor makes a mistake? It's not like once they become a federal employee that they're not going to make any mistakes. Usually that's the exact opposite. Secondly, how do you tell a doctor you're not going to make what you used to make? You made $250, $350 last year. You're going to make $160 now. But don't worry, you don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to do anything. And you're not going to get this. You're not going to get that. You can't charge anymore. There's going to be real worry of, are we going to have enough to go around? Right? And we're just starting to get in on the cost. And here's where he explains the cost.
If somebody who was self-employed today is paying $15,000, $20,000 a year in premiums and out-of-pocket expenses, that's all gone. Well, they may pay $7,000 or $8,000 more in taxes. They're $12,000 to the good. And that's what we have got to do. We have to do what every other country does, is make sure that anybody can go to any doctor they want whenever they want and not worry about the cost of health care.
Okay, well, wait a minute here. They may pay. They may pay. That, to me, is the part that makes me step back and go, can you guarantee that? Well, no, we can't guarantee any of it. Okay, see, there you go. Because what I know about government, rarely does government say it's going to cost X, and they go, guess what? We came in under budget. No way. Yeah, we did. We came in under budget. Or we came in on budget, and we came in on time. No. You know that, and I know that. And with all of the other things you have going on that you want to do, free, how do you pay for it all? I mean, my God, I think it was, I forgot, did a workup of what would cost Bernie after the last Democratic debate, what it would cost to implement Bernie's, on the low end of Bernie's, all of his plans. $95 trillion over 10 years. There's holes everywhere. How do you pay for that? There's only so much you're going to get out of people. And then eventually, you're going to be looking around and go, well, that top 1%, we got as much as we could. Let's go to the top 5%. Let's go to the top 10. And much like in Europe in these places, let's just go to everybody. And then we also have to talk about being captive, because you'll be captive. You'll be captive by the government, beholden to the government, captive by the government. And I think on their plans, they're pretty much making it so if you try to go elsewhere, they don't want that. I was thinking, what about like people who want plastic surgery? Can I not do that? It's like somebody wants to get a nose job. Can they not do that? Or is it, these are things that are real to think about. And the fear is And what Bernie doesn't understand is, while everybody cheers and it sounds great and it sounds wonderful, the reality is people don't trust the government on both sides. That's why we've got going on what we've got going on now, this big battle over impeachment, this, that, and the other, because nobody really trusts the government. They don't trust each other. I get it. I don't want to be captive. I'm fine with, if you want to get into this, the public side, you can absolutely do that. Your taxes are going to go up. You're going to pay more money out of your check. But yes, but you're limited in where you can go. There's no going out of network because there is no network. The network is where you are, and you're going to go based on how the government tells you go. Or, a private option where you can pick your own. And to me, I'm good with that. I am. I'm good with that. I've said all along, there's ways of going about doing it. And more choice is going to give people the opportunity to watch competition happen. But do you really trust them? It all sounds great, but do you really trust that, it's only going to cost this? Because we heard that from the last guy. It's only going to do this, and everybody's going to save all this money, and it's going to be great, and that hasn't happened. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me.
I think if it's hateful and disrespectful to specific groups, then that's not okay. But
I can be disrespectful to you though, right? I have the right?
Yeah.
But does the Constitution say I have to be nice though?
No, I don't know.
It's okay to disagree, but you have to do it respectfully and in an adult manner, because if you're going to talk about free speech, then you need to back it up with facts and not just your personal opinion.
No, that's not the way it works. Beauty of free speech is it's free speech. It's the speech you don't like, right? It is the speech you don't like. And by the way, these are college kids that are talking about speech. It always makes me laugh because if you bring facts and it overrides their feelings usually will win out in the day as far as they're concerned. That's the most important thing. A lot of people believe that we should just get rid of hate speech. Well, who gets to decide what hate speech is? Right? You make a joke, that's hate speech. Why? Because I took it as an offensive thing towards me, my person, my gender identity, my sexuality, my whatever. And then you got thought police. And this younger generation that is being absolutely filled with a bunch of crap is coming out on the other side as nothing but victims and or looking for people they believe are victims so they can feel sorry for them. And that's nuts. Again, I tweeted out something the other night. I didn't even put it together. Not that I didn't want to, but Babylon Bee beat me to it. Attacks. You get Procter & Gamble having to, take down the Venus symbol off all of their feminine hygiene products because men can have periods too, and that offends trans men, and women can't even talk about that. And it's all of this crap because everybody's got all of these feelings, and it's just because everybody's a victim. And when you start to change speech is when you really should be scared. We've lost our humor, which is the first of those dominoes. And you do that by what? Changing speech, changing language. Seattle's trying to implement some sort of form of social justice math because math apparently is based on hierarchy and non-inclusivity and racism. And I'm like, it's a number. Doesn't matter. Changing these things is dangerous. And when you hear stuff like, well, no, you shouldn't be able to disrespect anybody. Really? That's like, it's crazy. No, they don't. They want no other thought process. And that's the scary thing. And they're coming out and they're coming into the world and they're fresh out of college with this belief that this is the way the world should work. And you know what? They're going to be working with you and I. I see it. How many of you now at work monitor yourself from a joke? How many of you monitor yourself from talking, or better yet, don't talk to certain people or avoid them like the plague out of fear of just being misunderstood? And that's scary. These things are weaponized, and the thought process of even saying, well, you better bring your facts if you're going to have free speech. It's not even about that. Even if I bring my facts, it doesn't matter because it's the facts that you don't like. As far as you're concerned, you shouldn't be able to say it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. And tweet at me. You can text at me. You can Instagram at me. Oh, my. Somebody's like, why don't you have a blue check mark? I'm like, I got to get the blue check mark. I don't know why. It just feels like another thing I've got to do. It's crazy. Like, does it do something extra for you? Well, it makes you verified. Okay, but does they give you an extra, million followers? Well, it just makes you verified. Like, okay. Man, so many steps in life now. Nothing's just simple. You know what is simple? Super Beats. All right? Here's the thing. I like convenience. Period. Case closed. I need my energy. That's where Super Beats comes in. Beats are amazing for you, but the reality is Super Beats is much different. It packs all of the amazing things that you would actually get inside of a beat into these soft little chews. They are incredible. Almost candy-like. Helps with your circulation, supports healthy blood pressure, and tons of energy. Convenience is amazing. I've had a ton of these bags. Everybody comes in. I'll be sitting here thinking, oh, people are coming to visit me in my studio. Now they're coming in to snag a couple of these and go, I'm dry, especially after lunch. Try Super Beats. Get the soft chews. You buy 2 bags. They throw a third one in for free. 2 bags, third one in for free. Go to superbeatsradio.com/Chad. Superbeats, BEETS, radio.com/Chad, or call 800-875-9341, 800-875-9341. Get yourself some Super Beats. Chad Benson Show.
No need to fear. We promise we won't give you a noogie and make you cry Russia, Russia, Russia.
Who is the fearless leader?
Fui.
Fui, fui, and double fui.
What is your language? This is a family show, remember?
Fui to families too.
Nostrovia. This is Chad Benson.
Post Malone running circles around his fellow music artists, leading the American Music Award nominations with 7 nods, including a shot at the coveted Artist of the Year category.
Duh.
Billie Eilish and Ariana Grande follow with 6. For Eilish, these are her first nominations. Taylor Swift on the board with 5 nominations, and if she wins 2, she'll break Michael Jackson's record of 24 AMAs. The show airs November 24th on ABC.
Good. Get rid of Michael Jackson. I was reading an article about, because Freddie Mercury thought he was kind of an odd guy, and he was out at Neverland Ranch, and Michael's showing him around, and they go into Michael's room and stuff, and Michael's like, why do you not have Freddie's like, why don't you have a bed? He goes, well, I just have a mattress on the floor. I want to feel close to the earth. And Freddie's like, we're on the 2nd floor. It's like, okay. Oh, my Lord. Post Malone. Billie Eilish. I like Post Malone. Billie Eilish is interesting. Taylor Swift is the new Gwyneth Paltrow. She's insufferable. She has become that way. Hey, producer Phil, what will nature do to you?
Let me check. Page 23. Nature will mess you up.
Mess you up.
I've worked for the Game and Fish Commission for 20 years, and it's one of the stranger things that's happened.
Keith Stevens says 66-year-old hunter Thomas Alexander shot a buck with his muzzle loader.
He went up to check it to make sure that it was dead, and evidently it wasn't. It got back up, and he had several puncture wounds on his body.
The hunter, that is, not the deer. Alexander was able to call his family. They called for help. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. It could have been a heart attack or some other cause besides the deer. There won't be an autopsy, so we may never know.
It's nature. Every once in a while, nature gets its revenge. Every once in a great while, nature will mess you up. And sometimes you're going out in nature, and sometimes nature gets you in your home. But nature will mess you up. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. You can text the program. Yes, indeed. Check out thechadshow.com. Got podcast available, all kinds of stuff. Go to the Facebook page as well. We do videos every single day we throw out there. We're going to be doing more and more of those in the future as well, as we try to expand our little dog and pony show to have a dog, a pony, and maybe a guinea pig. You don't know. It is the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Woohoo! It's Thursday. California's on fire, and they have no power. I just got a text message because, although I live in Arizona, my number I've had for years, and I refuse to give my number up because it's awesome, and it's a cell phone, so it's not like, and they text me to say that they're doing all they can to keep power lines and everything, going in your cell tower. It's like, so you're turning off power. Fires are still raging. Gas prices are through the roof. You've got an empty vessel in a suit that is the governor. It's amazing. It is. I just sit there and I'm like, wow. It's like you're cutting power off to hundreds of thousands, and this is the new norm in a modern society. This is your new normal, right? Governor Gavin Newsom.
It's about dog-eat-dog capitalism.
Okay, is that it?
Meeting climate change.
Oh, okay.
It's about corporate greed meeting climate change.
Idiot.
It's about decades of mismanagement.
Liar.
It's about focusing
Absolute
on shareholders and dividends over you.
Liar.
And members of the public.
Absolute liar. You're so full of crap. How about the fact that they can't do control burns? How about that? Right? How about the fact that they can't do control burns and they knew it? And you guys didn't let him do anything. How about that? Yeah, you can yell at PG&E all you want. As damn Skippy, you should have. They should have took care of this. They did a risk-cost analysis and said, well, we'd rather pay it out later on down the road. We'll figure it out from there. Came back and it bit him in the ass. But slow your roll, right? So this is what you're going to go with now. This is your new thing. This is it. Good God. It's crazy. It really, really is. Just makes me laugh. I sit there and think to myself, it's just one party rule. Can't have a straw. I'm out there with Jack last week. He's like, Dad, I want a milkshake, but can we get a spoon? I'm like, do you guys have a spoon? They're like, no, it's plastic. And I'm like, wait a minute. We posted something. It's hilarious. So you're willing to give people needles and they can drop them anywhere. People have to get crap in the middle of the street. All of that is cool, but this plastic straw right here apparently is evil. And then you're running around and you're like, why are gas prices so high? Our summer blend? Our winter blend? Why are we $1.50 higher than everybody else out there? Why is that? It can't be. It's got to be price gouging. Shut up. You're an idiot. You're a boob at best with veneers. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing from you. Let's have some fun, kids. Florida's fun. I saw something come through the wire yesterday that I just like. Just a man in a Target with stuffed animals. That's all I'm going to say. That's the only thing you need to know. You're just like, oh, really? But Florida gives us so much more.
Neighbor Ashley Fogg says what she saw outside this home on Royal Palm Drive was bad enough. Just heartbreaking. Sick-looking animals running loose. But says what she since learned was inside is a true nightmare. Hundreds of animals, including guinea pigs, a half dozen dogs and cats, a hedgehog, rabbits, hamsters, reptiles, birds, and more than 175 mice and rats were living with the 3 adults and 3 children, girls, 10 and younger.
How can you consciously sleep at night knowing that this is the conditions that you've put your child in? As a parent, you fail. You get a major F.
Yeah, you get an absolute major F. It's awful. We talked about like those haunted houses that are like the extreme, put you to the test, and they do all they're not haunted houses. They're just like, it's like torture, right? You know what? The thing that terrifies me, that makes me sick, that I can't watch is stuff like that. People's houses are so filthy. Oh, God, it makes me, it grosses me out. Like that show, Hoarders, that's my nightmare. That is my nightmare. And they go into some of these people's houses, and it is so disgusting. And they'll move a couch, right, that's like soaked in dog and cat urine and stuff, and they find a cat that's been dead for like 3 years, and it's just like the outline of the cat with fur. That's my nightmare. That's what these people were doing. But don't worry, there's a wife, a girlfriend, and 3 kids, because the guy's got game enough to get 2.
Police say this is one of the parents, 43-year-old Susan Nelson, who along with her husband Greg and their girlfriend, 49-year-old Melissa Hamilton, were living in the house with the children and animals. They say the home reeked of urine and feces, littered with debris, rotting food, and flies. In the children's home, police say an upper bunk had no mattress and garbage was piled on the floor ankle deep.
As a mother of 3, that was devastating seeing the pictures of the little girl's room.
Yeah, it is nasty. And again, game enough to get 2.
These are Angora rabbits that are obviously look bad.
Edgewater Animal Shelter is in charge of the animals, some starving, some suffering with mange, all covered in fleas. 2 guinea pigs and a number of mice have already died. Police think the adults were breeding the rats and mice to sell to snake owners. Police say the children were placed with a responsible family member.
They could have put, hey, kids, you're going to live outside. They'll be like, don't worry. It's way better than what you got going on now. Just way better. This is my nightmare. I don't get how people live like that. I don't. I don't understand it, right? And I know when I watch some of these shows, like some of it is a mental illness, that they can't let anything go, right? They're the exact opposite of, what's her name, Marie Kondo? Is that her name? Who goes in and she basically tells you just to minimize everything. It's like, do you love that? Does it bring you memory? Does it bring you happiness? Does it bring you joy? Does it bring you whatever? But I don't get it. It's so vile and disgusting. I had a friend growing up whose parents were like that, and I couldn't go over to his house. I just couldn't. It made me ill. Like, even thinking about it now makes me 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. Lindsey Graham's at it, doing Lindsey Graham stuff, including a new resolution about this evil witch hunt.
The purpose of the resolution is to let the House know that the process you're engaging in regarding the attempted impeachment of President Trump is out of bounds. It's inconsistent with due process as we know it. It's a Star Chamber type inquiry, and it's a substantial deviation from what the House has done in the past regarding impeachment of other presidents.
That's pretty crazy. That's 2 days in a row we've heard Star Chamber. I'm going to have to watch that movie again. Because that was an interesting movie, Star Chamber. That was I forgot Hal Holbrook was in it. It was a really interesting movie. So apparently they're looking at articles of impeachment. I don't know where they think they are or aren't going to go at this point in time. I say it. I'll continue to say it. It's happening. He's going to be impeached. But as everybody gets mad at me, impeachment is not removal. And there's going to be 20 different ways that Mitch McConnell can take it, including a situation where he could actually dismiss it. It could get there and he could be like, I got enough votes. We're going to dismiss this thing. He could drag it on for months, turn it around on them, right? Imagine if Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, right, Cory Booker and Kamala Harris, and they all had to be there day in and day out. Imagine that. They're not on the campaign trail, right? They're not. I mean, Bernie's very excited.
I think you got a strong case for impeachment. I think the House will impeach him. I hope they do.
And you'll be there. And you'll be there. And you'll be there. And you'll be there. And it's going to be day in and day out. That would be interesting, right? Like, that's right back on them. Because it is not, I mean, like, you heard, like Mitch McConnell said, it starts in the afternoon, goes all day, 6 days a week. If you're doing that, you know what you're not doing? You're not out campaigning. You're not out doing any of the things that you would do if you're running for president. And imagine if he doesn't start it till, say, mid-December, right? Because they're talking about having public hearings now in mid-November. Maybe they have a vote after Thanksgiving. So you're looking first week of December. What if Mitch pushes it out till the early January? And here's something to think about. You then, in February, have Iowa. And you may be in a situation where you can't be there. You know who can? Joe Biden. I mean, he might not know where it's at, but, think about that. Wow. He could play this for all it's worth. Drag it on, right? 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, call a delay, bring him back in a few days. I mean, he could. He could. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson shows your Twitter. You could tweet at us, or you could just dismiss it. Could do that as well. You never know with Mitch. He's a wily one. I'll tell you that. AMAC, amazing over 50 organization fighting for your beliefs. Things like common sense immigration reform, Medicare, Social Security, making sure it's solvent, and amazing benefits. Retail, restaurant, hotel discounts, huge discounts on amusement parks, insurance. The movie discount is worth it alone. Up to 50% off movie tickets. It is absolutely amazing what they do for you. And the benefits are too numerous to mention. And what they're doing, like they look at immigration reform and say, why are you guys not reforming immigration and doing right? We need a real immigration plan that deals with what's happening here in America and makes us a nation where, you know what, you can come here legally, but illegally is a no. And I like the fact that they're out there fighting for Social Security. I mean, I'm 48. I feel like, I'm paying into this thing. And you know what? I'm not getting it. Probably not getting that at the rate it's going. But they're fighting for you. Now, you can join AMAC right now. It is free. It's 1 year free. It is on me. It is simple. It is easy. Go to amac.us/Chad. Sign up right there or call 888-355-1617. 888-355-1617. It's 1 year. It's free. It's on me. amac.us/Chad. AMAC is better for you, better for America. Chad Benson Show.
let the Washington Beltway strangle you. This is where the exhausted majority comes to refuel, realign, and reevaluate. This is Chad Benson.
We were talking about the craziness of California, the stupid straw. Somebody's listening to me at Disneyland. Oh, my. Not you, Mickey. I'm just saying. Chad, I'm sitting here at Disneyland watching my grandson try to suck the bottom of half of a Jamba Juice with a paper straw out of a 16-ounce plastic cup, and it ain't working. No, it isn't. Jack was, I'm telling you, first of all, it just tastes awful with a paper straw. It does. And I don't even drink, like when I go to a restaurant, I mean, because I don't get a straw anyways, right? I don't. It's never been my thing unless I'm getting, even with a milkshake, but, he likes a straw, and it was just watching him and the thing's like melting. Oh, my goodness. That is rich, lad. That is rich. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Producer Phil, are you still efforting the special show stuff?
Yes, stand by.
We're going to talk about that coming up. If you guys don't know, Katie Hill, if you guys don't know who she is, no relation to Benny Hill, but might as well be. She is a Democratic congressional member from California who is currently embroiled in some skullduggery and some nefariousness and some thrumpling. Remember Thrumpelstiltskin? different movie, but they're looking into her. We're going to talk about like all that stuff going on, because pictures are coming out now, and she's blaming her husband, and there's all kinds of stuff, and even the Democrats. But the funny thing is, I was telling producer Phil, you have to look to find. I don't care what you do in private. I don't care what you do. If you want to be in a thrumple, if you want to date 5 people, 10 people, 100 people, no people, I could care less what you do. If you're not hurting a soul, right? There should be nothing wrong with that. But know this, in this day and age, it's not whether or not people think it's wrong. It's whether or not it's salacious. And this is salacious. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. We'll also talk about her tattoo. Oh, she's got a tattoo, and it's causing controversy. We'll have more on impeachment, because we're going to impeach. That's what we're doing. And Kelly Ripa, I got some respect for Kelly Ripa, not only for what she said when she was on Jimmy Kimmel's show, but the way that people reacted towards her and her attitude towards them. I like that. I like you, Kelly. You're all right. You're all right. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. That's your Twitter, kids. It is the Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
I read the House rules. Okay. And as frustrating as it may be to have these hearings going on behind closed doors, the hearings over which Congressman Schiff is presiding, they are consistent with the rules.
They can make any rules they want.
Well, they can't change the rules. They follow the rules. And when were the rules written? Last? In January of 2015. And who signed them? John Boehner. And who enacted them? A Republican majority.
That's Judge Napolitano, who, of course, Trump hates or loves, depending. That's the childish stuff that drives me crazy about Trump. People keep asking me, do you everywhere I go, right? I get it. Whether I'm playing soccer or whatever. Hey, what do you, like a church? In between with the kids and the whole 9 years, we'll be talking to people and they'll, like I've got a small groups things I do on Friday nights and they'll talk about it. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm disappointed. I mean, does it rise to the level? That's the whole thing. Does it rise to the level of impeachment? It depends. Like a lot of things, I mean, I don't think it rises to the level of removal. I mean, I understand the impeachment side of things. But I also realize, too, that after a while, you've just bored people because it feels like this is all they talk about. Adam Schiff and them aren't doing anything that's wrong. I spoke to Congressman Andy Biggs last night. He's mad. By the way, they could have all been there yesterday, I guess. All 12 were invited. That's what people are saying. There was 47 other people in there. But it's the cross-examining. And Napolitano pointed it out when he went through all of this, and something I have been saying for a very long time when it comes to this right here.
So what happened in the Nixon impeachment? My former boss, I was his page in the House of Representatives, Peter Rodino, instead of holding the hearings in secret, interviewed the witnesses in secret, not by the committee, but by the staff. Congressman Henry Hyde, same thing in the Clinton impeachment. Witnesses were interviewed in secret and then presented in public. Congressman Schiff, with a different set of rules, chooses to do the initial set of interviews in secret. Secret evidence doesn't work in this world. So eventually there will be a public presentation of this at which lawyers for the president can cross-examine these people and challenge them. This is like presenting a case to a grand jury, which is never done in public.
Yeah, it's going to come out. But that the media loves this stuff because there's stories involved, right? You've got a villain for some, you got a hero for others. You got a hero for some and a villain for others. You've got ancillary characters that are seen as the good guys by some and the villains for others. You've got storylines, right? You got character actors. You've all of those things. It's not just a one-off scenario, right? You've got a fallen hero in many ways, somebody like Rudy Giuliani, who was, let's be real, after 9/11 and what he did for that city. I mean, I can compartmentalize what he's doing now. I have no idea. But I can also look back and I can appreciate what he did for New York City and for America at that time. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into this, but it's all theatrics. It is. And eventually, it's not like they get to try him, convict him, oust him, and nobody has to say. And it's like, hey, we had a super sneaky court, and we decided you need to go. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't. So this is all theatrics. Great money-raising tool, by the way. Great money-raising tool. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet right at me. I like that. I still loving hearing these things because Mike Pence has been speaking out about Nike and what's going on with Nike and the NBA and because that's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Nike stores in China actually removed their Houston Rockets merchandise from their shelves to join the Chinese government in protest against the Rockets general manager's 7-word tweet, which read, "Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong."
And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. They didn't remove it from the shelves here in America. They didn't stop sponsoring. I don't know what, I'm sure the Rockets probably have Nike apparel. But that's their country, and in their country, I got zero problem with that. It's our people, our country, our freedoms I care about. Absolutely. If you're doing business in somebody's country and they ask you to do something, or they say we don't do that here, heck, we do it in different states. You can smoke weed in some states. You can't smoke weed in other states. That I don't have a problem with. If they would have told Nike, you've got to stop sponsoring the NBA or all, whatever teams, the Houston Rockets, and you got to do this, that, and you got to remove all from your store, and they would have done that, then I would have had a problem. But in your country, you do your thing. I got zero problem with that. Because it's their country, right? It's their country. No problem. Zero problem with that. Just like I didn't have a problem with Apple doing what they did because they built certain apps, or people built apps within their world that was meant for China and Hong Kong only. And they asked them to take it down out of their things. We weren't using it. If it was something we used and they said, hey, we don't want you to have this, and this is also in America, and they would have done it, I have a problem there. And it's funny because we've listened to some of these, and it's just we should listen to them again and understand that we have this amazing freedom. We have this paper, right? I mean, let's be real. It's a paper. The Constitution is a piece of paper, but it's an idea that guarantees us so many things. And it's right there. And it's so amazing. And it's more than just that piece of paper, right? And the interpretation of some things, but the things that we're allowed to do in this country is incredible, right? We're not perfect. No way. But man, we are amazing. And that paper is incredible. That idea that those founding fathers put together, the things that we're guaranteed. And this is why it drives me crazy when I hear stuff like this.
I think if it's like hateful and like disrespectful to specific groups, then that's not okay. But
I can be disrespectful to you, though, right? I have the right?
Yeah.
But does the Constitution say I have to be nice, though?
No, I don't know.
It's okay to disagree, but you have to do it respectfully and in an adult manner, because if you're going to talk about free speech, then you need to back it up with facts and not just your personal opinion.
No, I don't. Because some things just don't have facts. It's just my opinion. I don't like strawberry ice cream. That's an opinion based on my taste. I don't like it. Right? What are the facts that you don't like it? No, they don't get that. They don't get that. I work with young kids that are in college on a daily basis. And they're idealistic, and it's great, and they're wide-eyed, but it is amazing because they really don't understand. I think a lot of us, we take for granted all of these things. You see what the people in Hong Kong are doing, and you're like, wow. I mean, because we're out of sight, out of mind, we're doing our thing on a day-to-day basis, and we don't think much about it. We're catching on the news, or did you hear, did you see? But we couldn't even imagine if tomorrow we were handed over by a deal to another country that decided, hey, we're going to let you be you for the next 5 decades. And then not even halfway through that, slowly but surely start to change all the rules and clamp down on your freedom, we would lose it. We do now. Look how pissed we are now with the insanity that goes on. I don't like that pumpkin. Bed Bath & Beyond's like, we'll take it down. Hey, I don't think that, that feminine napkin there from Procter & Gamble, the Always, I don't think that's very good because it's got Venus. Oh, we'll take it down. We're oppressing ourselves, for God's sakes. We don't want kids. Kids don't want this person to come on campus because they're going to get triggered. And these kids are coming out into the world in droves. And they're the biggest generation. And they're working with us now. They're going to be working with us in the future. It's crazy. And I don't think they grasped the absolute brilliance of the Constitution. and our rights and what we're guaranteed. It's amazing. It is. It really is. It's so amazing. And I just drives me crazy. I don't think you should be saying, what if you hurt someone's feelings? No longer is about how things are meant. Some things are horrible. People say horrible things. They do. They say vile, hateful things. But a lot of times in this day and age, it's not about vile, hateful things. It's just that I can scream and yell and say, you've hurt my feelings, and my God, over anything. People have been triggered. So-and-so said this or tweeted that. Well, it wasn't meant for you. Well, I took it as it was. But it was a joke, and it was meant for something else, and you weren't there. Well, does it matter? It's nuts. It really is. It really is. And I understand feelings. We're all about feelings nowadays, right? Everybody's about feelings. How do you feel? What's your feelings? What's your feelings? You know what my feelings are? I want to protect the speech I don't like because my fear is, and these kids don't understand that, and these young adults don't understand that, and I'm sure their heart's in the right place a lot of times, even though they're a little ignorant and they've taken for granted so much. My fear, and I tell them this all the time, these young kids, because they'll come over and they'll sit down, they talk about stuff, and they'll ask me questions and stuff, and I said, let me tell you something. That speech that you don't like today, your speech will be that speech to someone tomorrow. So you better fight for that speech. You better fight for that person's right. And you better hope you do it right, because otherwise, who's going to be there to fight for yours? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Please do. Apparently, we're going to be sending more now tanks and more troops to Syria. I mean, Producer Phil, let me ask you a question. We were bringing people home? Was this correct? And then we realized that we weren't really doing that, and we were getting out of it. Now we're maybe, by the looks of it, sending more people in tanks to certain areas to protect stuff. That we were just getting out of there.
Well, I think, we might have forgotten a few things, had to go back and pick them up.
Oh, okay. God. For all the talk of the Ukraine, for all the talk of a lot of this stuff, this right here, this is a giant cluster, and it's all on Trump. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Blink! Don't blink! My Blink cameras are awesome. I love them. I've got a bunch. Indoor, outdoor cameras. Easy, wire-free. I set it up. Me, Chad. I set it up. So easy to use. A couple AA batteries, wire-free. I monitor what comes to the house because I can alert my neighbor, hey, can you go pick it up when nobody's home? And they do. Because a little rural. And, little rural, and you just never know. Plus, the other thing is I love my lizards, and I want to see what they're doing. So I watch them, make sure they're not getting up to no good, right? Having a party when I'm not there. And I love the fact that I get the alert on my smartphone app, and boom. I see somebody coming, I could be like, get out of there or else. It's really good. It is. No contracts, no subscriptions, easy to set up, easy to install. Do it yourself. Takes a few minutes. A couple AA batteries last you a long time. The indoor-outdoor cameras, get yours now. They treat you right. Go to blinkprotect.com/Benson. 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 Blink's an Amazon company, and it works with Alexa. Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
Unfortunately, a survey of 2,800 people in more than 24 cities finds that the stay-at-home advice is not being heeded.
90% of them show up to work with flu symptoms, and that's an uptick from 85% in 2016.
Rich Deo Singh is with Robert Half, the staffing service. The difference between 2016 and now, he says, is the historically low unemployment rate. Some workers and managers feel added pressure to show up in sickness or in health.
Yeah. I was talking earlier to a couple other hosts about this report that came out, and people just, and it was funny because all of the newsroom and the people around that were listening as we were chatting about this were all saying, "Oh my God, you don't use sick days for being sick. Use them for like other stuff. Like you got to run errands or you got to do some of those. That's what you use that for." And I'm like, really? Like, and in this business where we're on microphones all day, right? By the time I get to, because I do 3 different shows, I do 2 of them from one studio, which is my studio. I'm very fortunate. But another one from another studio where by the time I get there, 3 other people have already been through there. And so, some people take their own spray and they try to do the best they can. I mean, the reality is it's a germ, right? This is a virus. It's going to be around by the time you realize somebody's sick. But it is funny the way that people do things where they won't. I mean, how many people, I'm sure half of you listening right now, you will drag your ass into work no matter how sick you are because you don't want to waste that day, right? Like when I was a kid, I don't know about you, producer, but when I was a kid, like if I was sick on a Friday, I was in all weekend.
Yep.
Right? But it was funny because if I was sick on a Friday, and I used to tell my mom, man, I'm sick on a Friday, but I would go to school and she would be like, "Oh, you're sick, you should stay." I'm like, "No, that's not the rules." I went to school. I suffered. I don't care if I have pneumonia. It is my weekend. Because if you're making me stay in on a Sunday or a Saturday because I'm sick, I'll be sick on Monday. I'm going to get my money's worth. 323-538-2423. That right there, kids, is the text line. All right? So you can text us at 323-538-2423. You can tweet at us. People say, "Why don't you take phone calls?" We tried taking phone calls like 8 years ago or whatever. I can't even remember. Mostly because I don't know the phone number. I forget it. And because a lot of you let me down. Not going to lie to you. I'm not. But we like text messages. We like tweets. I'll read them on the air. Tweet at me. Text the program as well. It's the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Well, you're a boy, right?
No, I'm a girl.
Who told you you were a girl?
Mommy.
When did she tell you were a girl?
'Cause I love girls.
Oh, I see. So mommy told you you were a girl?
Uh-huh.
Does mommy do anything else like with a girl with you?
Mm-hmm.
Like what? What does she do?
She comes in on me.
She puts dresses on you? Oh, wow. And what else does she do?
She buys my headbands.
Uh-huh.
That's James Younger, who is the father of the 7-year-old little boy. The custody battle in Texas is, it's funny to watch the way that, like, because the right's made this a champion of stuff, and the left is championing it as well, because they're looking at the same opportunity of talking about how intolerant they are and how they can demonize the right over this. And it's funny the way that they attack each other. And this is a real situation going on here. And the father, James Younger, lost custody this week, according to the jury in Dallas, Texas. And the judge today, I guess, just said, no. We've heard you, but we decided we're going to reverse that, and we're going to make this joint custody because this isn't right. So there's going to be appeals. It wouldn't matter if he lost it or not. There's going to be appeal after appeal. This is going to be much bigger and take much longer. And it's just sad Sad, sad, sad. It's an ugly situation. It is, because you look at the little boy, and they brought in, experts and LGBT people who were like, I don't think he's trans. He doesn't come across, and but for whatever reason, I mean, are people worried about stuff? Like, hey, I got to be on the right side of wokeness, right? Got to be on the right side of woke. Can't be on the wrong side, even if you don't agree with it. Even if you don't agree with it, got to be on the right side. So, but both sides have used this kid. I just said, look, he's a little boy, and no 7-year-old boy, girl, wants to be boy or girl, wants to be girl or boy. No 7-year-old can make life-altering decisions. That's just, it doesn't happen that way. Right? It doesn't. Little boy gets to 12, 13, 14, but has lived as a girl the whole time, but still, you start thinking, okay, this is not a phase. 85% of kids who identify as a different gender revert back to their other gender that they were originally born with. I mean, we have all these conversations. It's just watching everybody attack each other. And if she wanted to take him, I think it's the Genesis Clinic in Dallas, to potentially start hormone therapy and this and that. I'm just like, that right there to me is child abuse. First and foremost, even if that child is going to always identify as something other than what they were born as, to do anything to alter anything before puberty is insane, is abuse. It is. I mean, if you got your 7-year-old tattooed up, right, you'd be in a hell of trouble, and you can get rid of that. It's just, common sense seems to have eluded us in so many ways. And I don't know when it started to happen, but I guess it's when you start weaponizing words. When you start weaponizing words, and by that I mean trying to take words away from people, trying to say, this affects me in such a way that you've triggered me. And because of that, or because of something I wasn't even involved with, I'm going to punish you to the point where we stop talking, having conversations, stop debating. There's a new report out. 7 out of 10 people believe there's going to be a civil war, and I laughed my ass off. There's no civil war coming. There's no civil war. The only civil war there will be this year in America is between Oregon and Oregon State in football. That's it. And that's not even a good one, because Oregon State sucks. Pardon, Oregon State. Right? I love the unis. Corvallis is cool, but no. I mean, outside of that, we're not. But we have a platform now to destroy people, to attack people, to be offended. We have people that are on a daily basis looking to be offended, who have lost their sense of humor, or maybe never had their sense of humor, have been taught from an early age, and in some cases indoctrinated, that everything in the world that goes wrong is somebody else's fault. Everything in the world is oppressive. Everything in the world is bad. Everything in the world makes you a victim. And the best thing that you could do is attack and cancel culture. Both sides try to do it. The left is far better at it. And it's frustrating. And let me tell you something. If the left, I'm not talking about just the average, funny, regular Democrat, right? I'm talking about the crazy uber progressive. If they got their way, it's not a funny world. It's not. It's not a funny world. It's a world on eggshells. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Please do. I love hearing from you. Yes, even the disdain that people send me, even the hate that people send me, and they do. Send me hate. I'm okay with this. I am. I am absolutely okay with this.
Well, a new study has found that half of millennials have left a job over mental health reasons. It's a lot higher than the 20% overall who have left a job for the same reasons. This is according to a new study from the Harvard Business Review. Experts there say that there are several issues that are hitting millennials in particular: a rise in depression, higher living costs, and burnout.
It's a very mindful generation. They meditate.
They're very feeling.
Yeah. They're very feeling. They're feelings over facts. I'm facts over feelings. And here's the problem with a lot of people that are on the right is it's okay to have feelings. It's okay to have empathy. But don't allow feelings to override the truth. Right? And that's what happens way too often anymore. And people are afraid. It's a reason that comics won't go to college campuses anymore. I could never in my mind ever think to, even as a child growing up, and granted, we grew up in a much different time. Parenting was much different. We were, I think in some cases, some of the wokeness has made us better. And I think in a lot of cases, it's made us worse. But I could never in my mind ever tell somebody, I don't want to hear you speak. Get off my campus. Get out of here. I don't want to. I try to bring on everybody. People say, why do people on the right seem to be the only ones that come on? No, we bring people on the left on too. Not many. And the reason is pretty simplistic. We ask. They don't come. We ask all the time. I've asked every single presidential candidate that's running on the left, or Democratic candidates running, to come on. I've asked every single one over and over again. I got 3 producers. And we're on. I've asked, I'll do it. I want to hear. You can't open your mind. You want to hear because they don't want to. It's weird. And Bill Maher talked about it about a month ago. Said, look, you know what? I give it to the right. They come on my show. Everybody in the audience pretty much hates their guts. They come on my show. They go places that the left won't want to go. I don't know why. It's a very sad thing. And this younger generation that I do believe has, and I see it with my son, and I see it with a lot of this stuff, this wacky, weird world of teaching with feelings. I mean, my God, Seattle's talking about teaching math in a way that isn't racist. And you're like, really? That is nuts. So in a way that's not racist. We're at the point now where eventually 2 + 2 is whatever you want it to be. That is not a recipe for success. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at me. Super Beats. I'm Super Beats. Yow, wow, wow, wow. I love my Super Beats. I take them. I don't have many left. So I've got my, let me grab it right here. Here we go. I'm over here. These are my soft chews. I had like 3 bags. I'm down to about a half a bag right now. People come in here and grab them. Why? Some just love the taste, honestly, but a lot of it's because, especially in the afternoon, it's an energy kick. Beets, I'm throwing up. Beets are not very good, right? You go to your grandma's house at Thanksgiving, and she's like, I got beets. I'm like, those are, No. This is meant to not only taste good, but because of beets, because of all the natural stuff inside of beets, because of all of that, what's it do? Helps you with your blood flow, blood pressure, circulation, and yes, energy. These soft chews are incredible. They're convenient. Keep them at your desk. It's amazing. Now's your chance. You buy 2 bags. They throw a 3rd one in for free. Don't take it from, just say, oh, Chad. No, try it for yourself. Go to superbeatsradio.com/Chad. SuperBeetsradio. superbeatsradio.com/Chad. Right? So you go there, you find it. Okay, superbeatsradio.com/Chad. Or you can call 800-875-9341. So when you buy 2 bags, they throw a third one in for free. superbeatsradio.com/Chad. What's trending? And I do believe the governor of this state called Alaska is going to join us, Mike Dunleavy. He's being, well, at least they're trying to recall him, but he's very interesting. He wants to talk about Alaska being open for business. Chad Benson Show.
You go, boy.
This isn't about right or left. This is just about right and wrong.
Right you are, Chad. The Chad Benson Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? A lot of stuff is trending. Let's start first and foremost in the wonderful world of Twitter. The tick fire, Santa Clarita Canyon, trending. Instagram down, trending. No! California fires. You guys getting where we're going with this? Trending. Kellyanne Conway is trending. Apparently she went after a reporter. Something about somebody wrote a piece about her husband, and I still don't get that relationship. I don't. I do not. And the NFL on Fox and the uniforms, because normally it's what is it, like monochromatic night or whatever? But the ugly purple uniforms that the your good friends and I, as the Minnesota Vikings, are wearing, but the Redskins are wearing their regular old uniforms tonight. Boo! Boo! How about over here in the world of Google? Colorado's trending because, as you guys heard, they're building a wall. Yeah, they're building a wall. No, yeah, they are. They're building a wall. I know, it's sad. It's very sad. Katie Hill is trending, as is Iron Cross. Now, if you don't know who Katie Hill is a congresswoman, freshman congresswoman, who is now under investigation because she's a Democrat. She is from California. And she's in trouble for having a thruple, an inappropriate sexual relationship, supposedly, with a staffer. And it's very interesting. So from over a 6-month period, 2007 to 2018, 9 lawmakers, 8 men and 1 woman, were forced out of office or early retirement because of the new Me Too era rules. She may be the next. On top of that, pictures surfaced of her holding a bong naked, and there was a Iron Cross, supposedly, that she's had tattooed. People's like, oh my God, she's got an Iron Cross. She's got an Iron Cross. When I saw it, because I have to do, you have to work for the show. When I saw it, I'm like, I don't think that's an Iron Cross. That looks like there used to be I still think they're around, independent trucks, which are for skateboarders. Like Beto would really know what this is. But independent trucks, and that was their kind of symbol, is what it looks like. And it looks like it was done when she was like 16 or 17, because it looks awful. But she's smoking weed, it looks like, in a bog. And there's all kind of, like, she's accusing her husband, who they're still married, of working with Republican operatives to release revenge porn. But there's just a lot. This whole thing is weird. There's pictures of her, like, with one of her, I guess it was an aide or a staffer. And this was even before, like, she was, sworn in. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. But apparently she also slept with another male aide or staffer. So there's a lot of craziness here. But she is getting a lot of searches. How's that going, Phil?
I'm working on it.
Oh, my God. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson shows your Twitter. People are, like, freaking out. I hear people like, oh, wait, this is wrong, and why isn't anybody talking about this? And I'm thinking to myself, just who cares what she did? If she took advantage of a staffer, that's one thing. If they're consenting adults that had sexual relations, get over it. Those in glass houses. 323-538-2423. Mike Dunleavy, governor. Great state of Alaska is going to join us. Talk about his recall that they're trying to do on him after being there for like an hour. And what's going on in Alaska? Is it open for business? Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Guess what? Alaska's open for business. You're like, what? What are you talking about? Joining us now is the governor of the great state of Alaska, Mike Dunleavy. And you guys are open for business, and I don't think people really understand this. We were talking about this the other day. I've been to Alaska a couple times. It is gorgeous. It is massive, but much kind of like Hawaii, it feels like you're really not a part of the United States. It's like a foreign world, even though you kind of are.
What I say to people, Chad, is we're America and so much more, right? We're the size of a subcontinent. We're the northernmost state, westernmost state, and this really blows people's minds, easternmost state. We're a huge, huge piece of property, but we are America. We're part of America. We are the 49th state. We're proud of it.
So you guys are open for business because let's be real, you guys do so much up there. A lot of it is energy dependent, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. But you guys are open for business. You've struggled with some of that, and now you're saying, hey, look, we're open for business. It's time to come on in, and they need to get this, the new trade deal done, which I think will help tremendously. And it's explain to people who maybe really don't understand Alaska and what goes on up there. They just think it's just a bunch of people that are fishing because they see it on TV, and that's about it.
Well, certainly fishing is huge. We have the busiest fishing port in North America at Dutch Harbor. And fishing is a huge business for Alaska. We export a lot of fish products, and we make a pretty good dollar off of it. So Alaska is it's a unique place because we're the closest American state to Asia by far, by thousands of miles. With the emerging markets in China and Southeast Asia, Alaska is poised to be on the point for trade to that part of the world. And so we have a lot of timber. We want to stand up a timber industry. We have a lot of fish products. Of course, we have a lot of oil. We have tons and tons of gas that we're trying to market. So there's a number of opportunities for Alaska to capitalize on not just its resource wealth, but its position on the globe. We're about 9 hours to every industrialized place in the northern hemisphere by a jet, and we have the second busiest cargo airport in North America and the fifth busiest in the world at Ted Stevens International Airport. So trade is important for us.
Absolutely. Talking to Governor Mike Dunleavy of the great state of Alaska. So, you have, when you took office, which wasn't very long ago, and the craziness that's going on, and we'll touch on that in a little bit, because you're a fiscal conservative, you wanted to see what can we do to start, getting this thing down. And you rolled back some stuff and tried to get, jumpstart the economy, which I think is great. And nobody ever wants to be that person that has to deliver the bad news that, hey, we've overspent for so many years. We're dependent on oil. We need to figure out ways to do some other things and get spending under control, because as we see even on the national, side of things, we apparently have no idea how to do math.
No, I agree. I mean, at the federal level, it's at $23 trillion. But in Alaska, like other states, we have to balance our budget by our Constitution. So Alaska has lost revenue as a result of low oil prices and falling production here in Alaska at our major oil fields on the North Slope. As a result, this time last year, Chad, oil is about $85 a barrel. When I took office in December, it had dropped to $54 a barrel. And we had to make some tough decisions on reductions. And so we ended up reducing the budget by about $650 million. And a number of folks that were plugged into government, special interests, and folks on the left did not like that at all. As a result, they decided that they want to recall me they started this process, interestingly, a mere 2 to 3 months into my term because they didn't like the agenda of resource development. I guess they didn't like the agenda of trying to get more jobs in Alaska, and they certainly didn't like the agenda of reducing the budget. So this is where we're at. They're calling for a recall, and we're fighting that recall. And by the way, we do have a website, standtallwithmike.com, standtallwithmike.com, if folks want to help us beat back this recall.
You know, I was curious about, like I went through it when I was in California, the recall of Gray Davis, which actually worked. And then we replaced it with, the governor. And that just was it went from bad to worse to bad. It was crazy. But you're doing something here where you're looking at a situation where here you are, the governor. You've been here for a few months. People don't understand that, look, not everybody in this day and age, Governor, is going to get everything they want. And sometimes people have to make sacrifices. Everybody wants everybody else to make sacrifices. Nobody ever seems to want to make sacrifices across the board. And that's got to be frustrating because, again, all you're trying to do is go, hey, we need to be fiscally responsible.
Well, exactly. I mean, our revenue falls far short of the budget we've developed over the years. It just simply can't support it. And so it's either going to collapse on its own or we have to step it down and reduce it. And that's what we did with the cooperation of the legislature. What people fail to realize is being a governor is not a dictatorship. You have the legislature that you're working with, and they are the most powerful branch of government. And if they disagree with what you're doing, they can override your decisions and veto overrides. That did not happen this year. I think people realize that we do have a deficit and needs to be dealt with. But again, this is more than folks on the left are using the veto situation and the budget situation to try and stop the agenda we're trying to implement, which is, again, less regulations, more jobs, more resource development, and taking less money out of the pockets of people. So it really is an issue of folks on the left wanting a larger state government, more state control, and those of us on the right that think it should be a smaller state government and people should be in control of their lives.
Absolutely. I mean, too much government is, first of all, it's expensive. And I don't think people understand that. And there's nothing wrong with being fiscally responsible. But it's, as you know, as long as it's other people's money, man, people are willing to spend that.
Exactly. And, there are similarities as to what's happening at the national level with the president. He wasn't supposed to win his election. I wasn't supposed to win mine. He wasn't supposed to he wasn't even supposed to jump into the race. I wasn't supposed to jump into the race. And now that he's in and implementing an agenda to turn the economy of the U.S. around, get more people back to work, which, by the way, is working. I mean, it's record unemployment across the board in this country. We're trying to do the same up here in Alaska. And here's what's interesting, Chad. We were told that when we reduced this budget by $600 million, it was going to wreck the economy. We now have some of the lowest unemployment we've had in decades in Alaska. We have a GDP that's growing at a rate of 3.2% the first quarter. We have more personal income, highest personal income in the past 10 years. So those reductions were absorbed into a growing economy, and it saved Alaskans $650 million.
Talking to the Alaskan Governor, Mike Dunleavy. He's joining us today as we talk about a lot of stuff. When you look at national politics, here you are in Alaska. And again, it for a lot of people, it feels very foreign. And it's Alaska, and it's like that's where you may go on a cruise or you watch it on the Discovery Channel or something like that. But, you're more tied into that. When you look around our country right now, because I think a lot of people don't, in the lower 48, don't really, understand because it does seem a little bit foreign. What do you feel and what do you see when you look around in the way that the politics, especially on the national level, is?
This, for example, this impeachment process, in my opinion, is an attempt to stop the president's agenda. I don't think the Democrats really believe. I actually think some of them in Congress don't really want an impeachment because it's going to put the spotlight on some of their own members in districts that support the president. But nonetheless, I think it's an attempt to hobble the president so that he cannot fully implement his agenda, which, again, by the way, is working for America. It truly is. We have the strongest economy in the world. We have the lowest unemployment we've ever had across the board. We have wealth creation like we've never seen. But for reasons I don't understand, the Democratic members of Congress want to put a halt to this. And so it's to me, it's unfortunate. I think it hurts the presidency, not just the president, but the actual presidency. And I just wish they'd get back to doing the business that Americans want. And I don't think Americans care to have impeachment be the top agenda item for this country.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. I think, Nancy Pelosi is doing, Governor, all that she can to straddle the line. She is, I heard Bannon say the other day that you're getting a masterclass in communication as she plays this. But she also realizes that it could affect them in such a negative way, especially if it drags on to the point where it goes all the way through and senators have to be there and they can't be out campaigning, and it could really hurt them. So here you are, you're going through all of this stuff, but you're still doing your things. What do you want people to know about Alaska as far as like, hey, come on up here. You don't just have to take a cruise. We are open for business. We are part of America. Come check us out.
Well, it's just an amazing place to visit. It's a subcontinent. It truly is a different state, and just about everyone I have talked to that have visited Alaska, it's one of the best visits, best vacations they've ever had. But we're much more. Like I said, we are a resource state. We have 1/7 of the country's timber. We have incredible amounts of seafood, oil, gold, other minerals. And for those that want to invest in Alaska, this is America and so much more in terms of our location as well. But come up to Alaska. In the summer, in the winter. It's a spectacular place. It'll be a trip that you'll never forget.
Can you see Russia from your house?
What's funny is we have an island in Alaska called Little Diomede, and the Russians have an island called Big Diomede, just about 2 miles from each other. And during the Cold War, you could see Russia with binoculars from Little Diomede. So we are very close to Russia.
The craziness. I appreciate you coming on today. Hopefully we'll do it again. Governor Mike Dunleavy from Alaska. And if you want to tell people, everybody, especially people listening in Alaska, where they go to support you and what's going on with the recall effort.
Thank you. Go to standtallwithmike.com, standtallwithmike.com if you want to help with the agenda of making Alaska great again. Thanks, Chad.
Thank you so very much. You have a great day, Governor. At Chad Benson Show, Twitter, ChadBenson. He's been there for a few months, and, he's broken his promises. And I'm like, here's the thing with a lot of stuff. Imagine this, no matter where you are, right? You take over a business, right? Everybody hates people. The business gets taken over, and a lot of times they downsize and certain things happen. Sometimes you got duplicate. You're bringing some people in, you're merging with another one. You have to get rid of some people just because you're not going to have two people do the same job. That's silly. But a lot of times you come in and you find out, okay, I'm opening up the books here. We knew there was some trouble, but the potential's huge. But the reality is the math just doesn't add up, and I got to make tough choices. And in government is great for kicking the can down the road. And this is one of those examples where, yeah, I'm sure he pisses some people off. I'm sure there's some promises broken. That's life right there. You're going to break some promises. Politicians do that all the time. Sometimes they promise things that they're never going to be able to deliver. And sometimes they promise things that they think they're going to be able to deliver. But the reality is based on the fact that there are so many other obstacles and people have different agendas. You just can't do it. But one thing's for sure. I look around the country, and a lot of times what I find is politicians saying, I'm going to kick the can down the road. And eventually somebody's going to have to say, I'm not going to kick the can. I'm going to try to fix it right now. And in fixing it, it's going to make me unpopular. But does it make you healthier down the road? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show, Twitter. It's the Chad Benson Show.
I'm so tired. I'm exhausted.
If you're part of the politically exhausted majority, don't fear. Your time to be validated and rejuvenated is here. Wake up. It's the Chad Benson Show.
But as far as having the right to speak up, I'm allowed to be disrespectful, right?
No.
I am, though, right? I mean, the First Amendment says I can speak out.
I mean, if you want to be an asshole, that's your life choice.
But it's more about having the right to do so.
I don't think so.
As long as what you're doing is respectful, you should be allowed to do whatever you want.
What if I'm disrespectful? Should I still be allowed to speak?
I should be allowed to speak, but if you're directly offending someone, then, you should be escorted off campus or asked to stop.
Or anything that would make another one uncomfortable of, moral issues,
That's not the way it should be. These kids, free speech, they don't get it. If it makes somebody uncomfortable, here's the thing. I harp on it because it's true. Free speech is not about the speech you like. It's about the speech you don't like. And that's why we need to protect it. Because nowadays, in particular, especially with a younger generation coming out of college with these crazy, wacky social justice ideas. And look, I don't poo-poo all of them. I understand all of them. The problem is their wacky, socialist, crazy, lunacy, utopian ideas and feelings override facts. Right? And it's no longer about what you say. It's how it's taken. So anybody could be offended by anything. And what they don't understand, what escapes them, what eludes them, is all of the things that they think they want because they don't understand it, because they've taken it all for granted. All of those things, people will come for those things just like they're coming for other people's things. And they don't understand that. And that's sad. I love haunted houses. It's that time of year. You know, scary things. There is a place, McCamey Manor, that people call a haunted house. And it's anything but a haunted house.
And I am a fool to come here to have my ass kicked. And I quit. I quit!
McCamey Manor ate my lunch, took my milk money, and you really don't want to do this.
McCamey Manor kicked my ass.
And I quit. I'm sorry. I'm ashamed of myself.
And I'm a big baby.
You don't want to do this. I quit right away.
I quit.
You beat me. I can't do it.
What?
I'm done. Never want to do this again. I'm never doing another haunt again. I don't want to talk about it.
Tried to be tougher than the Manor, but I was sadly mistaken.
I'm the real crybaby, and I quit back in the Manor.
I know. I can't do it. Get me the fuck out.
Yes. Now, it's not a haunted house. It's more torture than anything else. You have to have a 40-page waiver, a doctor's note, a safe word, a physical, a sports physical, and a few other things. And then they do all kinds of it's like we talk about, oh, we're torturing people in Guantanamo Bay. People are doing this. It's a 10-hour like live survival horror show challenge. And if you survive, you get $20K. And I'm just sitting there going, it's a haunted house. It's not a haunted house. It's not even an escape room. It's simply torture porn, like Hostel. That's it. There's no backstory. There's no monsters, none of that stuff. It's just how much can I make you terrified, and what are your fears so I can prey upon those. And I told him my fears. I said, look, I'll do it. I'm afraid of comfortable chairs, beautiful women, and television. Naps. I'm terrified of naps. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson shows your Twitter. Car Shield is amazing. Grab yourself some. Why? Because you don't want to be caught without. 24/7 roadside assistance. A rental car for free while your car's in the shop. The shop is the shop you choose. You pay a deductible. They get them paid directly. So imagine if your car's check engine light comes on, you take it, you don't have Car Shield, you don't have a warranty, you find out it's $2,200 to get fixed. If you had a Car Shield, you pay that small deductible. They get it fixed for you at the place that you want it taken care of. And oh, by the way, you're going to get a rental car while your car's being fixed. They got all kinds of plans. Check it out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Go look and see what they've got for you. Go to carshield.com, carshield.com. Use code Benson to save you 10%. Or call 800-CAR-6000, 800-CAR-6000. Saves you 10% when you use that code Benson. A deductible may apply. You're useless. Fact of the day. In Mexico, if you escape from prison and it's nonviolent, you are not punished because they believe that it's part of human nature to want to be free. Weird indeed. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the day. I see Friday. Night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.